Let's go! Oh yeah, Mario time! Let's go! Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah.